Give me a Stroh's. If you heard a guy say that in a bar in Boston, a dive in Denver, a lounge in L.A., or a flop house in Frisco, you just knew the guy was from Detroit. Hey, the Tigers, Hudsons, Coney Island, Saunders Hot Fudge, and fire-brewed Stroh's. All vital parts of what Detroit has been, is, and will be. Detroit without Stroh's is like a rosary without beads, like Belle Isle without a bridge, like Grosse Pointe with no point. Peter Stroh stood up today and said, look, the big, beautiful, ugly red building on Gratiot is just too old, too inefficient, so we've got to turn it into a coffin, not a brewery. Will Detroit survive? Sure it will, but it won't really be the same. It's a little bit like losing a best friend, a son, a brother, a father, a loved one. 1,000 people have lost their jobs. A city has lost $40 million that 1,000 workers earned and spent here every year. Why? Well, because Stroh's is really no longer just a family brewery that makes fire-brewed beer. It is the third biggest beer company in America. That really is not run by young men whose last name is Stroh, but by bean counters and executives armed with computers who make decisions, not based on yesterday's or families or tradition, but based on today's competition and tomorrow's profits. So that rugged, beautiful, ugly, red old brick building on Gratiot made good beer, but not enough profit. So long, old friend. We're going to miss you. We'll see you someday, somewhere. And when we meet, give me a Stroh's. Good night, everybody. He's probably the most likable, popular president we've had in this century. You say you love Ronald Reagan. You say you voted for Ronald Reagan because you want America to be militarily stronger than the Soviet Union. You also say that you want law and order in your city. You want smaller government from Washington, but you want bigger police departments, more judges, and more prisons. Really, what you want is the best of two Americas. Ronald Reagan got a mandate for one America. Coleman Young and other big city mayors got mandates for the other America. Reagan's budget means the federal government spends $200 billion more than it's got to spend. Mr. Reagan's budget means that New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, Los Angeles lose about $1 billion every year in federal aid. Cities like Detroit, Boston, Baltimore, New Orleans, Pittsburgh lose about $200 million a year. Two mandates. Mr. Reagan got one, the mayor's got another one. Two mandates and two Americas. There are also, though, maybe two truths here. One is President Reagan's, the other is the mayor's. Reagan says we've got to be strong militarily and we've got to get Big Brother off of our backs. The mayors say that President Reagan does not, though, have a mandate to destroy the cities of America. It's really the old American dilemma. Increase his taxes, but don't increase mine. Take his benefits away, but don't take mine away. Two Americas, two mandates. Which one did you vote for? Well, finally, before we say goodnight, a little something to think about after having spent several hours at work making sure that those of us at Channel 7 slant the news as objectively as any television news department in the country. I don't think anybody has got all the answers, and I don't really think that anybody has all the right questions, but Lee Iacocca is a pretty smart cookie, and he told us today, look, these billion-dollar profits by the big three are just terrific, but he then warned that Washington better do something quick about the $200 billion deficit and that massive trade deficit we have. Example, he said Chrysler's $2.4 billion profit for '84 covers only the interest on the national debt for a week. The $2.4 billion profit covers the defense budget for just 3 days. And Iacocca is warning that if it keeps up, American companies, to stay alive, will have to start spending their dollars building plants in companies overseas. Bottom line, what good will these billion-dollar profits do if there are no jobs and no work for Americans? Well, the answer is not much. Of course, Lee Iacocca is kind of a funny, strange guy. He borrows money the old-fashioned way. He pays it back. Well, okay, I guess we kissed the import quotas goodbye. Does Ronald Reagan really know what he's doing? I sure hope he does, because he does, though it means that Lee Iacocca is an airhead. It means that Owen Bieber's kind of a dunce. It means the Ford executives in the glass house at Ford should be washing the windows and not looking out of them from their executive suites. Mr. Reagan and his guys are saying no more special treatment for those automotive wheelers and dealers from Detroit. Blow the quotas away and let's play free trade. Well, that's terrific. The trade may be free, but the way Tokyo has stacked the deck, it really isn't fair. They jiggle and juggle their yen, their money. They lift their taxes on all their cars that they send over here. Hondas, as a matter of fact, cost less in downtown Tokyo than they cost in the city of Detroit. In short, the Japanese will not play fair, and consequently, they're beating our brains out. Cameras, steel, cars. They jump in bed with their government while our industries are constantly at war with our government. The way things are set up, Ronald Reagan could not sell free Chryslers in downtown Tokyo. And I think, like the man from Chrysler says, Mr. Iacocca, it may be free trade, but it sure as hell is not fair. And by the way, Mr. President, in case you've forgotten, you got reelected in America, not Japan. Diane? Figure that about 30% of all the income tax that's withheld from your paycheck every week goes to defense. Now, when was the last time, for instance, that the president of one of these big defense contracting companies called you up and said, hey, John, Mary, if you're not busy tonight, we'd like you to meet us downtown at the London Chop House, and we're going to take you to dinner, give you a few cocktails, and show you our latest missile. It probably hasn't happened yet this year, has it? Or this decade, or maybe this century. Well, now, we all know that it does cost a ton of money to remain militarily strong. Just look at the defense budget and all the controversy over it. But when is enough enough? Well, let's look at Boeing, for instance. Boeing does pretty big business with the Pentagon that we pay for, $4.3 billion last year. Now, one assumes with toilet seats for military planes going for about $600 per seat, the $4.3 billion probably does contain a pretty fat, pretty hefty profit for Boeing, its executives, and its employees. Well, now we find out that Boeing billed the U.S. taxpayer $126,000 for the political contributions that the company, dished out in just 1 year. Political contributions to politicians. One would assume they want the politicians to vote their way. Boeing thinks that that should not be a write-off, but a bill that the Pentagon should pay. That's not all. In all defense contractors, Boeing among them submitted bills for public relations. That's public relations totaling $140 million a year. What are these so-called public relations? Well, things like entertainment, you know, the Chop House or one of the expensive restaurants in Washington, receptions, banquets, exhibits. One congressman, really hot under the collar, all of this, whined out loud the other day. You know, these contractors, these defense contractors, are either incapable of what constitutes a legitimate bill, or they take us for fools. Well, unless all of you taxpayers have been wined and dined while being shown MX missiles, cruise missiles, B-1 bombers, or the latest $600 toilet seats, I guess maybe the companies don't have to understand what a legitimate bill is, as long as there are fools willing to pay those bills. Well, don't look now, but something very nice and positive is happening to Michigan and Detroit. For the second time in a week, one of those very, very sophisticated, very, very specialized companies who weigh the present, look at trends, assess the past, and then feed all the factors and facts into their fancy computers, are saying and predicting some very good and positive things for Michigan and for this Detroit metropolitan area. By the year 2000, they say, Michigan's population is going to break through that 10 million mark. Jobs will increase by the thousands. The suburbs are booming, just drive out Northwestern. It's unbelievable. Just drive downtown to Greektown, and it is really unbelievable. With that new Trapper's Alley, some 70 shops, more restaurants than George Steinbrenner has had managers with the Yankees. All weekend, a country hoedown in Motown, the Grand Prix races once again this year. Not that all the problems have vanished, to be sure. Crime, unemployment, slums. But the pessimism is starting to vanish a little bit, and other companies from other states are saying some very optimistic, positive, good things about us, and they're investing here, big bucks. Stroh's, yes, is leaving, but Stroh's got itself in trouble, and there's plenty of bud and light to go around. The point is that good things are being said about Detroit and Michigan, and not just by Detroiters and people from Michigan, but by some very smart, sophisticated cookies around this country. Now, if we could just get those little filthy-mouthed boys and girls in the bleachers to shut up and somehow get Bill Bonds to stop editorializing all the time, everything would be perfect. Rich? Well, July 4th tomorrow, birthday of our nation, 240 million Americans in a very real way participating in a thing called freedom. A pal of mine, a friend of mine, a lawyer by the name of Larry, said to me the other day, my niece, who's a senior in high school, was given an assignment. Read 3 newspapers, any ones you want to read on any given day, listen to 3 television newscasts on the next 2 days, and then write a report on how many good news stories you read and watched on TV and in the paper. My niece told me, Uncle Larry, there were virtually no good news stories. Then he said, what's your reaction? So I said, look, you and your niece missed the most important good news story of all. She got to read 3 newspapers of her choice, watch 3 television news programs of her choice. Nobody told her, ordered her what to read, what to watch. And nobody for sure ordered the newspapers what to print or ordered the television newspapers and the departments what to broadcast, what to report, what not to report. And I said, that's freedom. That's what July 4th, that's what this country, that's what freedom is all about. So happy birthday, America. And happy birthday to you American citizens. don't want to sound nitpicky on this, but just a couple of years ago, Detroit's Thanksgiving Day parade came very close to joining free light bulbs from Edison, Saks, Crowley's, Hudson's, and Stroh's as things that used to be traditions in this town. But some people and some companies stepped forward and said, hey, look, we're going to save the Thanksgiving Day parade, and they did. Channel 7 televises it, so does CBS part of it. Last year, the fire department's clowns, the police department's Blue Pigs band, and the handicapped all participated in the parade. This year, they've kind of been told, look, the parade got too long for, I guess, one television network, CBS, so the Blue Pigs, the fire department clowns, and the handicapped were kind of informed, sorry, but not this year. Well, that's not right. It's important that the handicapped are included. It says to all of us the handicapped can do it. They do belong. Paula Blanchard, the governor's wife, stepped in late today and said, hold off, everybody. Let's compromise a little bit. Clowns, cops, handicapped, let's get everybody involved. Believe me, CBS will survive, so will television. What's more important is so will the parade and the spirit that Santa is supposed to symbolize, I think. Peace on earth and goodwill to all. So to all the good people running our People's Parade on Thanksgiving, is it really asking too much to include everybody? I think I know what Santa would say, and good Lord, if Gorbachev and Reagan can get along, can't we just have a nice parade for everybody? I think so. Well, finally, in this hour of news at 5, Michigan, Ohio State, the Wolverines, the Buckeyes, the maize and the blue, the scarlet and the gray, two great universities, two great academic and athletic traditions, the big game. Frankly, it is a tragedy that millions of grown men and women, boys and girls, in these two great states spend so much time, so much energy on something as ferociously distorted as a college football game when our schools, our cities, our young people, the elderly, are in their respective crises. How can educated men and women of conscience and value so publicly value and cynically dedicate themselves, almost give their lives, to an afternoon of organized violence, a vicious game played by spoiled, oversized, overrated young men who are glorified because they're a little bigger, a little faster, and somewhat more physically coordinated, but innately more cruel and vicious than the average college-age American male. This game, this violent insult, that has two great states, two great universities groveling, kneeling, praying, adoring at the twin altars of the almighty dollar and the glorified jock, while the real problems of our society are ignored, pinpoints not only what is wrong with America, but points out and zeroes in on the cynicism of the American news media. Journalists who have also sold out, assassinated their credo, their objectivity by becoming fans of their home teams. Fans from the word fanatic. So much for objectivity. To sum up my commentary in 2 words, go blue. Let's see, Doris.
And not to be
Jerry,
outdone, this says go Bucks. That's the best I could do for now.
We'll see you at 11. Good night, everybody.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you tonight.
Oh, well. Tonight's commentary? Well, nobody knows how many convicts have AIDS, how many are carrying the AIDS virus, how fast or slow it is spreading, but it is spreading. We do know that AIDS is an incurable disease that kills. So give the test to all convicts in all Michigan prisons so at least those who don't have it know who does, and thus separate the haves from the have-nots. To do less would be criminal, and really what is there to lose other than lives? Dana?
The irony of this report is that Rosa Parks' work is not done. 30 years ago, she had stomached all she could of segregation. 30 years later, she's still witnessing events in South Africa, communities in South Philadelphia up in arms over blacks in their neighborhoods, and cities like Dearborn saying no to, quote, outsiders in their parks. Is it a moral shame, or have we as people let Rosa Parks down? After all, she believes that all people can live together in unity. Was she asking too much 30 years ago? I think not. At the age of 72, Mrs. Parks should be able to rest, but she cannot. I'm comfortable because of Mrs. Parks. Many of our young people are comfortable because of her. But some people have forgotten her and the other key players in the civil rights movement. Most of us have never experienced hardship in a confrontational sense, but perhaps that's what makes Rosa Parks extraordinary. She understands how easily people forget, as well as the simplicities of life. I met a woman who's able to live out of her handbag if she had to. A woman whose tireless giving of herself captures the essence of a virtue few of us possess. Mrs. Parks is and was a revolutionary woman. Reflecting on her actions is not meant to embarrass, instead to reawaken us. Where we're headed 30 years from now is anyone's guess. We can only hope that Rosa Parks is wrong when she says history may repeat itself. Rich?
An unusual young man, he acted as his own lawyer throughout it all. Of the 19 vocal draft registers in America, 11 have been convicted and are serving time in a prison or doing some kind of community service work. In this case, did the punishment fit the crime, the one I'm going to refer to? You bet it did. When World War II was over, after Hitler decided it was time to meet his maker in his Berlin bunker, America and the Allies decided to hold the Nuremberg trials. All those Nazis who murdered all those people insisted that they had only been following orders. The Allies said, that dog won't hunt anymore, pal. You must ultimately follow your conscience. And because you didn't, you're going to get the gallows. And you and the boss who gave you those orders, your pal Hitler, you guys can talk it over with your maker. So we did set the record straight at the Nuremberg trials after the war. You can't cop out by saying you were following orders. You must follow your conscience. Daniel Rutt did. Does he really deserve 5 years in jail with killers and kidnappers and rapists and robbers and murderers? Does the punishment fit the crime? I'm glad I'm not the judge. Dana? Fighting for freedom and victory and equality is tough business. This little man from South Africa, Desmond Tutu, this Anglican bishop, speaks with eloquence. He speaks softly, but his message is deafening. It attacks and it assaults the eardrums of your soul, your mind, your conscience, your being. But Tutu's message is not going to go away. Apartheid is a racist, vicious, violent tool of oppression, and it is used in South Africa to kill, to imprison, and to punish Tutu's people who are simply saying, look, we want freedom in the land of our birth. There are some people in America, some in the Reagan administration, some out of it, some like Jerry Falwell, who suggest, look, be patient and wait, and for God's sakes, protest, but protest nonviolently. Point. Desmond Tutu, like his mom and dad, grandma and granddad probably, was born in South Africa. He's black. He's a high school graduate. He's a college graduate. He has a master's degree. He is an ordained minister. He is an Anglican bishop. He is also a Nobel Peace Prize winner. But Tutu cannot vote in his land of birth. His black brothers and sisters who work can't vote. The black brothers can't even sleep with their wives 11 months of the year, but must live in bachelor barracks if they want the jobs that exist in the cities. Now, let me suggest something to, I guess, the Jerry Falwells who pat the Desmond Tutus on the head and say, now look, be patient and wait for change. And whatever you do, don't get violent. Keep it nonviolent. If the FBI called up Jerry Falwell tomorrow morning and said, Jerry, old buddy, if you want to keep on preaching, you can't vote, and you can't sleep with your wife anymore. Let me tell you something. Jerry Falwell would go from violent to nonviolent as quickly as he quotes the Bible in Samuel's passage about David. David's a little Jewish kid who put a rock in Goliath's head, then chopped his head off and took it back to his boss, good old King Saul. And Saul told the kid, you did a good job, just what God wanted you to do to that big, violent Goliath. That's tonight's commentary. That's news at 5. Doris and Mike, Jerry and Jay step in next. 7's Action News continues at 6. You have a pleasant, peaceful evening. We'll see you at 11. Good night, everybody. Robbie?
And from all of us in the Action Newsroom, thank you for joining us, and good night.
The men, the male members of the DAC downtown, took a vote, and they don't want women as members in their club. Guests? That's fine. Members? No, thank you, the men said. We like our private club just the way it is. We're men. We like to play cards together, exercise together, drink, bowl, relax with our pals together. We like to drive by after work, have a couple of pops, spend a little time with our pals, then head home to be with our wives, our girlfriends, or our children, for whom we worked all day. We like our club the way it is, and we want to keep it that way. Thank you very much. I don't belong to the DAC, and very frankly, I have no interest in joining the DAC. But I say good for them. You know, there is nothing inherently evil about an all-men's club, just like there is nothing inherently evil about an all-female or women's club. There is, though, something inherently good about a nation, a country, that has laws that protects the rights of men and women to join and belong to private clubs and organizations they want to belong to, as long as those clubs and organizations don't engage in activities or plans to hurt or otherwise infringe or violate the rights of others. You know, privacy is a right in this country that hundreds of thousands of men fought and got killed to protect. And to call or to label the men of the DAC bigots or chauvinists, I think is a bum rap. A great number of those men, and I know a lot of them, are the same men who over the years have worked to guarantee, protect, and establish the rights of minorities, women, blacks, Hispanics, throughout our city and state, and in their own businesses and their own professions. And one fact is this: One member told me, look, we need women at the DAC. We need some new money, some new faces. And women are now starting to make the bucks. Now, some people will say, well, Bonds is a bigot and he's a chauvinist. Well, I'm not. God knows I'm not. I told her that this morning, and she understands. Besides, the DAC is old, and frankly, it's kind of stuffy. Indulge me for just a moment while I talk of a friend. He was only 31. You know, the death of a friend, a very nice, smart, handsome young man like Joe Spencer, becomes a day of pain and perspective. Many people in our country perceive reporters as being kind of tough and cynical and arrogant, insensitive men and women, because we do ask some tough questions of politicians, of executives, of various leaders, tough questions of our fellow citizens who are in pain or tragedy. And we do spend a whole lot of time reporting bad and sad news, but it's really not an accurate image. It's not really true. Most of us are really a lot like you. Joe Spencer was born into an average, nice American family, hardworking, loving, caring, demanding. He loved his mom and dad and respected them. Joe got his first radio job at the age of 14. He just wanted to be a reporter. He loved reading, writing, learning. He was hooked on finding out what was happening. It was a thing that he really was into and loved. Like most of us, he worked hard, he got his education, and he went to work telling stories about his country, his city, his fellow Americans. He taught journalism to some younger men and women at Oakland University when he worked for us. He looked for truth, reported it honestly, and hoped that by doing so, good things in our country would get excellent, bad things among us would get better. Joe was good. Good son, good friend, good husband, good American, like you. Joe was an excellent reporter. We loved him, we missed him, we respected him, and we'll never forget him. Why, someone asked today. Because, it was answered, it has always been this way. One professor, a scientist, said today, we are shocked and we are saddened, but we are not surprised. There have been 56 manned flights and not a single bruise or injury. Yet every astronaut knew he was riding a million-pound stick of dynamite into space, so we knew it was going to happen. It has never been a question of whether, but a question of when. Why do things like this happen? Two reasons, really, I think. Human intelligence combined with human curiosity. 5 billion years ago, maybe 10, some Neanderthal in a cave somewhere on Earth was cold and wanted to get warm. Somehow he knew that flames were hot. He wondered how he or she could make a fire, get warm, and decided to figure it out. Vespucci, Columbus, Marco Polo, they got curious and wanted to know what was over the next hill, over the next horizon. Isaac Newton got curious. He wanted to find out why apples fell down and not up. Ben Franklin should have gotten electrocuted flying that kite, discovering electricity, which Edison needed for his light bulb and Alexander Graham Bell had to have for his telephone. Well, all those men, and let's not leave out those brothers from Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, the Wright boys, who were curious as to how to fly, all those men, in a very real sense, were astronauts and scientists. But they were curious and intelligent, and they were involved today. Today would have happened had they not discovered the Earth was not flat, that apples fall down and not up because of gravity. Lightning is electricity, to be harnessed and used in things like bulbs, computers, and rockets on places like Cape Canaveral, which undoubtedly Columbus sailed by, looked at, and probably walked on. Curiosity and intelligence. Life and man progress because of it and die as well. But life does get better because of them. And, of course, the price that they pay. Good night. See you at 11. Now, finally tonight, our president and that cemetery in Bitburg. What's so complicated? Like most of you, like most Americans, I suspect, I know somebody who fought the Nazis. I know someone whose uncle, aunt, father, mother, grandma, or grandpa was murdered by Nazi killers, SS killers. And like you, I suspect, I know somebody, an uncle, a cousin, a father, or grandfather, who fought in the Battle of the Bulge during World War II. SS troops, Nazi SS troops, murdered, shot, and killed, captured, tied up American GIs who fought in that battle. Like you, I make mistakes, and like most of you, I admit them. The president, our president, has made a mistake. He's going to go to the Bitburg Cemetery where Nazi SS killers are buried. He says he can't cave in to his critics. Well, we're not his critics. We're Americans who do not want our American president visiting that cemetery. And who does he fear he's going to insult by saying he's not going to go? American Jews? American Christians? American veterans? If he's afraid he's going to insult German Chancellor Kohl, I think he should be reminded he was elected President of America by Americans whose uncles, fathers, grandfathers were murdered by Hitler's Nazi SS killers. As most Americans, I suspect, would say, it's that simple, pal. And finally tonight, some words about a man. Rock Hudson, handsome, rich, famous, the dreamy sex symbol of millions of women, the envy of millions of guys. But Rock Hudson drew a hand from a deck of cards that society, very frankly, had stacked against him. He was born healthy, handsome, smart, nice, and homosexual. Like you, I did not choose my sexuality. I did not decide to be a heterosexual male. Neither did you, probably. When I was a teenager in puberty, I had crushes and fantasies about girls, not boys. The medical experts tell us that 1 of 10 American males is homosexual. But our society says you can't be homosexual because if you are, you're a queer, you're a fag, you're a pansy, you are not normal. So while everybody in Hollywood knew Rock Hudson's truth and his secret, his studio even forced him to get married. After all, there was big money to be made with this big, handsome, homosexual male who was adored by millions of normal American women. Well, Rock Hudson was really a pretty nice guy and a pretty good actor. He was forced, though, to live a lie. He died telling the truth so that others like him, and like you, and like me, the so-called lucky normal ones, might better understand it all. That's not a bad epitaph. And to perform in television's Dynasty program while dying, that's a pro, that's a man, despite the sexual preference he was born with. What is so special about this America of ours? Well, I think, among other things, days like today, the country that, and although it's not first class for everybody yet, but the country that somehow has room for everybody, special because this most powerful of all the nations that have ever existed, and among all the nations that exist today, is simply a nation that changed because a black prince of peace, the grandson of slaves, told the white power structure of this powerhouse nation, told its presidents, its Supreme Court justices, its senators and representatives, told its governors and mayors and sheriff deputies and its business leaders, look, you're wrong, and you know it, you must, and you will change. And they did know it, and they did change. And then this black Prince of Peace of ours was murdered. Today was the first national holiday in honor of Martin Luther King, Jr. We do that for only 2 other Americans. George Washington, you remember him, he owned slaves, and he was the one who with violence founded this special nation of ours. And Abe Lincoln, the tall, lean rail splitter from Illinois, who with violence saved our nation and then freed the slaves. And Martin Luther King, the grandson of slaves who improved the nation by inspiring its people. If Presidents Lincoln and Washington are talking things over tonight, I think they're probably saying, hey, Martin, welcome to the club. It is special people like you who kept the dream alive that make the nation we so loved so special. 3 great Americans, one who owned slaves, one who freed slaves, one who was the grandson of slaves. Each a citizen, each a man who changed his nation for the better. Only in America. That is kind of special. It pains me to have to say this to you, but there's a chance I may not be here at 11. It may be Robbie and Dana, but you have to stand up for what you believe in. We have very strict policies in the Channel 7 News Department. The Girl Scouts called and said, Bill, it's that time of year again. Cookies, the little girls, will start knocking on doors this Friday through March 23rd. Could you give us a little plug? It's for the Girl Scouts in Wayne, Oakland, Livingston, Monroe, and Macomb County. About 50,000 little girls. We need your help, big fella. Well, I'm sorry, ladies, but Channel 7 does not allow me to plug you, your pushy little scouts, or your cookies on news programs. I cannot tell Channel 7 viewers about your brand new pecan shorties made of rich shortbread, slow baked to perfection with crisp pecans, or those mouth-watering chocolate chunk drops of heaven that literally melt in your mouth. Boss says I can't describe, the tag-alongs, 2 marvelous tastes in one. Real peanut butter smothered in rich, vulgar, almost sexy chocolate. No, the boss rule, don't mention bonds, those luscious. What are these? Samoas. They're vanilla numbers rolled in toasted coconut. You do that and you'll be fired. No Billy at 5 or 11. It'll be Dana and Robbie if you mention those sinfully delectable little trefoils. Those light, thick shortbreads. And Mr. Barnes, management warned me, if you even hint about the thin mints, the extra crisp chocolate wonders covered with rich cocoa and then blended with the miraculous natural oil of peppermint, if you mention the thin mints, Barnes, Channel 7 will banish you to the Siberia of journalism. If you mention the cookies on the air, Billy, next Monday you will enter the slave labor market working as a copy boy for Bob Talbert. That would be even worse than editing yours truly at the Detroit News. So sorry, girls, I cannot mention your cookies. And that's the way the cookie crumbles on Channel 7 Action News at 5. Have a pleasant, peaceful evening. They'll be gone by 6:15. Doris has got hers. God willing, we'll see you at 11. Have a pleasant, peaceful evening. Robbie?
From all of us in the Action Newsroom, thank you very much for joining us, and good night.
Very frankly, something stinks, smells, and it has the distinct odor of a cop-out. Don't know about you, but this American taxpayer, this reporter, is a little tired of hearing statements from our American president, our American Justice Department, our American immigration executives about Ferdinand Marcos, his wife, the lovely Imelda, and the $10 billion that he and she stole from the Philippines. All this noble discussion about how we in America must now follow the lofty dictates of the law, respect Marcos, his dignity and his privacy, adhere to obscure rules of international justice and procedure. Frankly, all of it is vulgar, obscene, insulting baloney. Marcos and Mr. Reagan were pals. They exchanged expensive gifts. But the fact is that Ferdinand Marcos is a killer, a thief, a tyrant, a liar, a heartless dictator who tortured and murdered and robbed his own people. He and the lovely Imelda ate caviar and delicious roast pig while Filipino children were living in filth and poverty and dying of starvation. And it went on for 20 years. He was flown out on an American Air Force jet. His millions in cash, certificates, and jewelry were also flown out in American Air Force jets. He was flown to America and is right now, tonight, being protected by America. It is time for the American president to tell this crook, look, pal, here's the deal. You and the lovely Imelda send the billions back to the Philippines, or we're going to ship you two back to Manila, where Cory Aquino, the widow of the man that you had murdered, will figure out just what should happen to you and the lovely wife. There is a stench in America. It's coming from Hawaii. It is the odor of a killer, a thief, and a crook, whose name is Marcos. Ronald Reagan has the responsibility to stop this air pollution. Marcos insults America and freedom. And if President Ronald Reagan can't smell the stench, we'll have the Girl Scouts send him some of their cookie money, and he can get his nose fixed. That's the news for right now. Doris, Rich, Jerry, and Jay step in next as 7's Action News continues at 6. Have a pleasant, peaceful evening. Good night, everybody, and happy birthday, Robbie.
Thank you very much. And from all of us in the Action Newsroom, thank you for joining us, and good night.
Channel 7's Action News continues with Fisher, Bisco, Barry, Hodag, and Detroit's #1 news team.
Like you, I was a little scared earlier this week when I heard about the missiles being fired back and forth. You know, the experts tell us, and then those of us in the news business tell you, that if World War III starts, it's probably going to start in the Middle East, where there's so much hatred and so much tension and so much danger all the time. Well, just a thought I'd share with you. You know, before the late 1950s, or certainly the early 60s, there really was no such thing as the television anchor man or person or woman, no such animal. No such job existed, really. Now, of course, the television anchor person is really an integral part of the American family, and probably your family. It's part of our culture. Uncle Walter, Mr. Cronkite, Brinkley, Huntley, Brokaw, Jennings, Mort, Robbie, Dana. Most of us have a favorite newscaster. Bill Bonds is my favorite. But to be very honest about it, Ted Koppel is my favorite. He's the guy that I really think does the best job in television. Whoever your favorite is, believe me that staying objective is, if not flat out impossible, it is very, very difficult to do. Being fair is the best that this reporter can do. Why is that true? Well, if we don't get cynical in our business, we sure do get skeptical. Why does that happen? Well, because of all the reading involved for those of us in the business, all the papers, the news, the Free Press, the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal, all the magazines, Time and Newsweek that at least I read every week, every day, talking to all the reporters we know around the country, and all the politicians and all the important sources, people in the know. Listening becomes the magic tool, listening. Now, we start hearing the hints, the watch-outs, and they all started about 2 weeks, 10 days ago. Watch out for maneuvers. Middle East, naval stuff. Watch for Gaddafi. Reagan's got to have a victory. He's going to lose the contra vote. And suddenly it all started happening. Big surprise for the Americans, for the American people. Missiles shot at our boys shoot back. Will war break out in the Middle East? Give them hell, Ronnie. Suddenly the Sandinistas make a move into Honduras, killing Reagan's brave freedom fighters, the teenagers called Contras, who are battling the evil Russian-armed Sandinistas in Central America. Did it all just happen? Sure. Is Gaddafi a madman, a killer, a terrorist, an enemy of ours? You bet he is, sure. Are they the bad guys? Sure. Are we the good guys? Sure hope so. But did it all just happen, just this week? And were Reagan, Secretary Weinberg, our admirals, and our generals surprised? No way, Jose. And that also is for sure. Just one reporter's thought that I thought I'd share with you. Rich Fisher, Doris Biscoe, Jerry and Jay step in next as 7's Action News continues at 6. Have a pleasant, peaceful evening. See you tonight at 11. Good night, everybody. Robbie?
And from all of us in the Action Newsroom, thank you for joining us, and good night.
Channel 7's Action News continues with Fisher, Biscoe, Barry, Hodak, and Detroit's #1 news team.
Easter. Jesus and his message. Good Friday, a day on which hundreds of millions of Christians on this earth, some for just seconds, I'm sure, others for hours today, thought of him. Some of them were cops, others were crooks, some were firemen, some were arsonists, some were censors, some were bishops, some saints, some pawns, some sinners, some who save lives and some who take lives. Christians who worked in banks, lived in poorhouses, in prisons, in judges' chambers, in castles and in dope pads and in holy places, as well as in places of prostitution. Christians in morgues and in maternity wards, on sunny beaches, in teeming crowded ghettos, thinking of him. Professors and school dropouts, millionaires and paupers, millions and millions of humans thinking of Jesus this day. He is their God, their Messiah. His message was very, very simple. Love one another and be nice to one another. I wonder if he wonders if we got the message. Happy Easter and good night. America is a wondrous place, and Americans are funny. They are very proud of being Greek, of being Italian. They're proud of being black. They're proud of being Irish. They're proud of being Indians. They're proud of being Orientals. Proud of being Polish. Proud of being Russian. Americans are very funny, though. They're very proud to be Americans. They come from every corner of the world, the Orient, the South Pacific, the Atlantic, the South Pacific, and Central America, Europe, Asia, the Middle East. They argue among themselves. They sometimes vote Democratic, then they vote Republican, then they'll vote for a socialist. Some of them vote for communist. They are Catholic, Protestant, Jewish, Buddhist, Muslim. They curse their own leaders locally, on the state level, then in Washington. Then they pray for those leaders. They pay their taxes. They resent and gripe about dishing out billions of dollars in foreign aid. And when they do, they expect their so-called allies to stand with them when America's in trouble, when somebody is wrong, when somebody is hurting Americans. France and Italy and some others are not standing with America these days. Canada and Israel, Great Britain are. Ronald Reagan asked all of the allies to join with us with some kind of political and economic support and pressure to stop the terrorists and stop Gaddafi's terrorism. They refused. Ronald Reagan then warned Colonel Gaddafi. Gaddafi then ignored the warning. Well, his people are today, sadly, for them, paying the price. Has Gaddafi learned the lesson? Probably not. But if he has not, let him know that the American people will come together behind their president, the one they pray for and the one they curse, the one they voted against and the one they voted for. And let us hope the president now does not back off. Let us hope that once he decided to hit, he also decided to hit until the other guy can't hit back. If he doesn't, then the world will have to say, Ah, those Americans. They play hardball at the beginning, but they don't have the guts and don't have the stuff to stick it out. They proved it in Vietnam. Will they prove it again? Well, looking for the truth, all this terrorism. It doesn't seem to make any difference. The other guys are always wrong, and we are always right. That is always true. It's true in Washington, but it's also true in Moscow. It's true in Israel. It's also true in Libya. It's also the way the Palestinians see reality. A commentary in just a moment. Why is there apparently no solution? Well, let's take a look for just a second or two. Terrorism at airports in Rome and Athens, the Achille Lauro hijacking, the disco in Berlin, 2 British citizens and 1 American murdered in Lebanon this week, the move in the Gulf of Sidra a few days ago, the sky bombing over Greece, Mad Dog Gaddafi, Mad Dog America, both accused of being killers of children. An attempt to blow up a jetliner headed for Israel in London yesterday. A diplomat shot in the Sudan. Stars and stripes being burned on 3 continents. The bombing in Costa Rica. The Soviets are now pumping their naval muscles, iron, in the sea lanes of the Mediterranean. Let's hope the big boats of the 2 big superpowers don't start playing chicken over there off the beaches of Haifa. As for the allies, well, the French are loyal to the French about 50% of the time, and that's it. Germany's Mr. Kohl did not forget Mr. Reagan's visit to the cemetery in Bitburg, and Margaret Thatcher remembered Ronald Reagan's help in the war for bragging rights over sheep herds in the Falklands. Canada's a pal, let's face it, next-door neighbor. And who's kidding whom? Mr. Mulroney is going to badmouth his best buddy, who just happens to be the heavyweight champion of the world. Remember, his Toronto Blue Jays are 20 kids from America who won the American League East last year. So here we are tonight. Air raids, bombings, deaths, killings, superpower playing war maneuvers, mad dogging it on primetime television, planes exploding in the air and on the ground, superpowers jaw to jaw, eyeball to eyeball, the allies jumping off the American boat all over the world, anti-American protest all over Europe. What did I leave out? Oh yeah, Israel and the Palestinians. Oh yeah, Gaddafi and Mr. Reagan and Sidra and bombs, that stuff. But those are really the sideshow. The problem is the Jewish people and the Palestinians. They can't, won't, or will not, or all of the above, compromise. They can't make a deal. Really, are they that special? To be sure, both have suffered tremendously for years. But until Israel and the Palestinians sit down and make a deal, this terrorism is not going to stop. Until the Arab world starts believing that America is as fair with them as America is seen as being pro-Jewish, the killing will continue. Maybe it is time for the rest of the world to insist, you two go to the woodshed and you make a deal as valuable and precious as your needs, your cultures, your religions, your values and grievances, and your suffering are. They are not worth blowing up the earth and the rest of mankind. The terrorism is not going to stop until Israel and the Palestinians compromise, make a deal, or by the rest of the world are forced to make a deal. That's it at 5. Rich and Doris, Jerry and Jay step in as Channel 7 News continues at 6. Have a pleasant, peaceful evening, and good night, everybody. Robbie?
And from all of us in the Action Newsroom, thank you for joining us. Have a very pleasant weekend, and good night.
Over the decades, and I mean hundreds of years, American farmers with horses and cows have always had plenty of fertilizer for whatever their needs. And over the years, American farmers have gotten interested in politics, American style. Will Rogers once made the observation, how do you tell when an American politician is trying to spread a little fertilizer or lying? Will Rogers used to say, when his lips are moving. Well, FDR called politics the art of compromise. Well, we vote for them, the politicians, and those that don't get caught, don't go to jail, get reelected, then they declare our wars, they raise our taxes, they spend more than we are forced by law to give them in the way of taxes. Then, of course, they blame the guys and gals in the other party for all the mistakes while grabbing all the credit for the things that work that we ultimately pay for. Last night in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill, the Senate Tax Committee okayed a reform tax package. Among the changes, most tax shelters for the rich, we are told, are going to be wiped out, but don't bet on it. Businesses will pay more in taxes, but don't bet on it. Individuals less, maybe. Union dues are not going to be deductible. Wining and dining business executives, partying, entertaining as it's called, is going to be reduced to just 80%. The lobbyists for bars and restaurants and booze company, etc., don't like that idea. They screamed, and their pal, Senator Russ Long, who wanted all entertainment made deductible, he apparently gets entertained a lot, observed, entertainment is to the selling business in America what fertilizer is to farming. Of course, we all know what fertilizer really is. Elsewhere on the political scene in rich Carmel, California, where Clint Eastwood, the movie millionaire, is the new mayor, well, Clint went to his first city council meeting, and it was packed. The tension was heavy. The council got together. Its members debated and voted. The outcome was unanimous. It is now legal, get this, to sell ice cream cones in Carmel, California. That insidious ban has been lifted from that pleasant little community. It's what the mayor vigorously campaigned for, wanted, and got. Dirty Harry lives, democracy thrives. If cows and horses ever disappear, we'll still have plenty of fertilizer to go around. That's it at 5. Doris and Rich, Jerry and Jay step in next as 7's Action News rolls along at 6. You have a pleasant, peaceful evening. We'll see you tonight at 11. Good night, everybody. Robbie?
And from all of us in the Action Newsroom, thank you for joining us. Have a very pleasant evening and good night.
Well, finally, a look at capital punishment. You know, every nation in the world believes in it, and every nation uses it. A nation really is just a family, but bigger. America, very frankly, is a family made up of millions of families, like yours, like mine. Now, when a Gaddafi or a Hitler starts killing Americans, America kills the killers. It is the way that nations around the world, families, if you will, survived. During World War II, America killed Germans and Japanese, soldiers, men, women, and children. In Michigan, there was also capital punishment, despite what you read. Many criminals kill their victims after they have raped, robbed, and beaten them. They don't like their witnesses left behind, alive. Yesterday, 2 killers, drug addicts, got life, solitary confinement, and hard labor without parole for killing a father, raping and then killing a mother, and then killing their 9-month-old baby. Those 2 wanted $40 for their heroin. They never showed 1 ounce of remorse, never said, "We're sorry." Today we find 2 elderly twin sisters murdered in Detroit, 77 years old. Sisters born in the same home they were last night murdered in. Nice people, nice neighbors, dead, gone. On both sides of them, of the home that they were born in, lived in, and now killed in. On both sides of them, known drug dens. The neighbors know about the dens. Why don't the cops? I don't know. Ask the cops. Why aren't the drug dens burned down? Why aren't they destroyed? Ask the cops. Who killed the grandmothers, the twin sisters, the old women? Probably drug addicts who needed money to get their heroin. When they get caught, if they're convicted, they won't get what they handed out. They won't get death. I have always opposed capital punishment, but enough's enough. Men who murder 9-month-old babies, rape and murder their mothers, murder our grandmothers, ought to give what they get. Ought to get what they give. If capital punishment is necessary for nations to stop terrorism and murder, it ought to be good enough for Michigan, whose homegrown terrorists are murdering our babies and our grandmothers. Enough's enough. Ted Koppel is next with Nightline. Have a pleasant, peaceful evening. See you tomorrow at 5. Good night, everybody. Dana? Kind of wrap things up. This is going to be corny, some will say, but I guess I am kind of corny, sentimental. Last night in closing the 5 o'clock news, I reported for, I guess maybe the 46th or 47th or 100th time, another story about the Statue of Liberty, the big party July the 4th in New York's harbor, and I started wondering to myself, holy smoke, Statue of Liberty, Statue of Liberty. Statue of Liberty is coming out of our ears. It's a question of overkill. Enough's enough. But a man called, a man with a very heavy accent, and this new American reminded me, look, Billy, you've got to remember that that lady in the harbor is a symbol of freedom for people all over the world. A symbol of freedom, a symbol of what America, and America only in this world, really represents. And I got to thinking, you know, every night I say, coming up next, Doris, Rich, Jerry, and Stu, or Jay. And then I got to thinking, who really are these people? Doris Biscoe. I've been working with Doris for 14 years. Tall, regal, smart, beautiful, 4th-generation black American woman. The granddaughter of slaves whose real roots go back to Africa. Rich Fisher, a Detroit kid, the son of a retired Detroit cop, the descendant of Greek grandfathers and mothers. Jerry Hodak. Both sets of Jerry's grandparents came through Ellis Island, from Austria-Hungary in Eastern Europe. And Stu Kleitenic, the tall, handsome, animated kid who talks with his hands and loves sports. The all-American kid whose grandparents worked the steppes, the land along the Volga in distant Russia. So that team at 6, a black woman, a Greek man, a Slovakian-Austrian science editor who talks weather, and a 6'5" Russian Jewish kid doing sports. All Americans. Nowhere else in the world is there a news team like that. In France, the news teams are all French. In Germany, they're all German. In China, they're all Chinese. It's only in America. I guess that's why it works. These four friends of mine and of yours, Rich, Doris, Jerry, Stu, only here, only in America. That's what that lady in the harbor symbolizes. Rich, Doris, Jerry, and Stu are next. Good night. See you at 11. Barry?
Good night.
America's enemies. You know, if all the communists all over the world got together with all the Gaddafis and all the terrorists who hate America and Americans and started killing us and started destroying our lives, the way that cocaine and crack cocaine are killing Americans and destroying Americans, you can bet that Ronald Reagan, George Bush, Tip O'Neill, Governor Blanchard, and Coleman Young would declare war tonight. Call out the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force, and all of our missiles, and all out, flat out, go to war. The coke, the crack epidemic in America has reached, let's face it, crisis proportions. Dr. Michael Boyle, the medical director at the Rehab Center, Maple Grove in West Bloomfield, is now treating coke addicts who are 12 years old. People listening and watching to me, to Dana and me right now, who used coke this afternoon and then decided to switch to crack just before the 11 o'clock news, they could be dead before we say goodnight. Coke users who can and have used it recreationally can use crack just once, lose chemical control, and 5 minutes later become addicted or dead. Jesse Jackson urged President Ronald Reagan to declare war. If we don't, all the communists, the Gaddafis, the terrorists, the enemies of America in the world have really nothing to worry about. Drugs sold by Americans to Americans for American dollars and profit will destroy America. Don't agree with me? I'll bet you Len Bias does, and I'll bet the enemies who hate Americans also do. Nightline is next. Good night, everybody. Dana?
Thank you for joining us. Good night.